What I'm going to talk is first about the relations between Yemen and Saudi Arabia. I would like to point out some key points here to understand the deep problem that takes place at the moment in Yemen. I believe that the key or the source of the problem is the nature of the relation between the two countries, between Saudi and Yemen. I would like to do my best to introduce all of these elements, despite the fact that I have 15 minutes anyway. So I will start with the key relations between the Yemen and Saudi, then how that relation was managed so far, then turning points, Arab coalition, Saudi and the Yemeni Spring, the Yemen humanitarian crisis, and then the conclusion.
Speak to the mic. They can't hear you.
So to start is actually the main issues had started in the started 70, 80 years ago between the two regimes, the two kingdoms. So Al Saud in the north and Al Hamiduddin in the south, conflicting for ages at that time. Then after that, you see, these are the key destinations. In 62 to 70, there was Saudi support to the monarchy system, despite the fact that the people in Yemen has decided to make it a republic in Yemen. Then the problems between the south and the north, the influence of the Saudi was not that positive. And then the Gulf Operation Council, which excluded the Yemeni people, was a very turning point or very important point at that time, because the Yemeni felt isolated and they couldn't manage to have, let's say, partnership between Yemen and Saudi Arabia, but rather it was dependency relation. So in the Yemen unification in 1990, also the Saudi regime was not that pleasant with that unification. Saudi and the democracy in Yemen also a key element there. So we saw that Saudi is always close to tribes rather than parties. And the Yemeni civil war in 1994, also Saudis, they supported the separations at that time. Till we have the border agreement in 2000, and then the Arab Spring in 2011. So these are the key issues here, or the key destinations that form this type of relation. In conclusion, I can say that there is no mutual trust between the two countries before the 2011. Tribalism-based relation, not state to state or peer to peer. Saudi used to re-engineer actually the republic regime in Yemen according to its standards. We have very strange republic in Yemen, to be honest. Unequal relation, and we are paying too much price, for this unequal relation. Lack of strategic visions also was the key issue here. Yemen actually, or Saudi actually, they used to manage Yemen by not, as I said, peer-to-peer relation, but by using a special committee. This special committee is very strange. This special committee has created around over 20,000 agents in Yemen, peasant tribes, army, and key figures in Yemen to rule the country instead of the government. So this is the key point here. And instead of helping Yemen to have a successful state, they used to treat Yemen in this way for ages. This committee is influential in both the tribe and the army. The mission was to keep Yemen under the Saudi custody, to enhance the weakness of the state and form a bad democratic model in the region. To say to the people in the region who is interested to have democracy, this is the ugly model in Yemen. To keep the future of Yemen in the Saudi's hands, I mean the Saudi government. By the way, we are not the enemy of the Saudi people, and not the enemy of the Saudi government as well in Yemen. What we are looking for is to have partnership, to have mutual trust. So the key turning points I'd like to address here, the displeasure from the Saudi displeasure from the Yemeni unification in 1990, then the reaction to that, to Yemen's position in the Gulf War in 1991. A new aggressive chapter then began after that. Yemen's policy increased and since the Saudis who terminated their economic assistance to the Yemeni people at that time. By the way, we are not in need for any help in Yemen at that time. Just we need to have a good relation with the region. That's all. I do believe that Yemen is not that poor country. Yemen has a lot of resources and has a great potential to grow, but we didn't get that chance to grow. Saudi at that time expelled 1 million Yemeni workers who were resigned in the kingdom in 1990. And then Saudi supported the separation of Yemen at that time. So these are the key elements or the key points till we reach the date of or the Arab Spring in 2011. At that time, it was shocking in the region to have a revolution in Yemen. And Saudis, they played very careful rule at that time. They found millions of people against the regime, against the President Ali Abdullah Saleh at that time. And they introduced an initiative at that time, as you know, and that initiative actually was able to recycle the Saleh regime and turn the youth revolution into a crisis. So this is the most dangerous point here. So we became from that time to talk about crisis in Yemen, not revolution. And we demolished the revolution from the dictionary at that time, you see. So then Saudi and United Arab Emirates, they came and have more influence in the Yemeni perspectives in all matters, to be honest. They tried to have here a very strange game to help at that time, at the beginning, to help Houthis to control Sana'a on the basis of that to fight the Muslim Brotherhood or Islah Party at that time, you see. So, however, the Houthis militias followed the Iranian advice instead. And I'd like here just to say, it is like the Taliban style. It started as a small group, then after that, out of the control of the Pakistan and the region as well. So, both countries here then took advantage of the government weaknesses to format the country. I am a computer scientist, and format maybe is the best here. What they'd like to do is actually to produce a new Yemen, a new strange Yemen, according to their standards. Saudi and Iran in Yemen. This is the most critical point. You would believe me that if I say the problem started with two students in Yemen. One called Muqbal bin Hadi al-Wadi'i in 1993. He died in 2001. Salafism, Sunni, and Hussein Badruddin al-Houthi. The first one to Saudi, the second one to Iran. And they came together to Sada and couldn't cope and couldn't coexist. By the way, we are in Yemen, Sunni, Shi'i live for over 1,000 years peacefully. We have no problem at all. At all. And these two guys, they started to have this problem and to work as proxies for both sides. You see, by the way, at the moment even that, it's not sectarian fight in Yemen, by the way. It's not sectarian fight at all. Even those who are fighting with Houthis, there is Sunnis as well. And this is good news. We are not fighting based on sectarian reasons. We are fighting for other reasons I'm going to talk about. As I said here, both couldn't coexist, and then the problem started to grow in this region in Sana'a. In 2014, unfortunately, Houthis, as I said, by the support in the beginning of Saudi Arabia, they took over Sana'a, and the capital, and they are, as you see, from the same group of the previous monarchy, system in Yemen. And they came here from the Zaydis, who believe that only descendants of the Prophet Muhammad, the cousin and the son-in-law, Ali, have the right to lead the Muslim community as imams. So it is the Iranian, clearly the same Iranian, perspective here. By the way, not all Zaydis, however, align with the Houthis movement, which is good as well. Then in September they took over, and forced President Hadi to flee Sana'a. These some crimes committed by the coup. Unfortunately, they are not, at that time, they were not responsible enough to act properly. And they made a lot of mistakes, arrested thousands of people, including journalists, attacked cities and demolished houses and mosques as well, and so on. Then the big question I'd like to ask here, why some Arab groups feel closer to more loyal to Iran? This is what we would like to answer, actually. Lack of equality and human rights, lack of visions, absence of democracy and freedom in the region. All of these have contributed to this reason. And then I'd like to talk about the Arab coalition here. It is the military intervention in Yemen, and the Saudis promised that it will be quick in few days or few weeks. Unfortunately, it came to destroy the country. It turned the country to a hell. We are talking about thousands of people killed. We are talking about no vision at all. They came to Yemen with no vision that 30 million people live in that country, and they need support, and also the humanitarian perspectives totally out of the agenda for the coalition. Cholera killed a lot of people. You see here the crisis at the moment, how it became. We are at the moment is the worst crisis in the world because this coalition. Then you see millions of people been affected by this uncalculated, aggression and coalition. It came actually to destroy Yemen completely, and they are not listening to advices at all. We try to send them many messages, they are not listening to us at all. So the challenges now for the Saudis in Yemen, I believe that Saudis trap themselves in Yemen. The humanitarian crisis is deepening, and also the Saudis and Emiratis at the moment, they are supporting groups, radical groups in Yemen, instead of the government. This is clear in the south, also in the north, to the extent that we lost. Even when I am contacting some ministers in Yemen, they lost. They don't know whether the Saudis they are supporting them or no, to this extent. So many Yemenis now believe that the ongoing revolution that has started in 2001 is the enemy of that coalition. The emerging democracy was attacked in Yemen. Multi-party system is attacked. You see? Enabling the radical groups like Wahhabism or Madkhali, Salafism, at the expense of the civil society, organization, and parties, weakening the government to control and to have a new, as I said, a new Yemen, according to their standards. These are the key challenges now in Yemen, for the Saudis in Yemen. To be honest, we got a lot of messages that they would like to get out from this situation, but I don't know at what price. So I think now Saudi Arabia has many challenges in terms of, we know that they transfer the power over 2 generations and economic pressure as well, and oil prices, unemployment, which is like Gaza, as my colleague said. So all of these together led to the nervousness of the Saudi Arabia. So it is so nervous at the moment. These all challenges need actually very clever leadership, impact from public opinions, which is not the case in Saudi Arabia. So here I would like to see also to say that the future of Saudi Arabia, or a key element for making or for forming the future of Saudi Arabia, is caught in Yemen at the moment, on this basis here. So I'd like, this is my end slide, by the way, and to have strategic solutions, we'd like to get out from this mess. Successful and strong state in Yemen is the key issue. You see, democratizing the region. As long as we have no democracy in the Arab Peninsula, we will stay as we are, fighting tribes, fighting for ages and ages. I think the first step could be like the Kuwaiti model in Saudi and in the Gulf. They have parliament, they have democracy, and so on, and Yemen as well. And they will, I think, if the West is going just to have a relation based on bargains with the Saudis and the Gulf, I think this is the disaster for the West and the Gulf and all people in the world. Mutual trust and respect in these countries in the region. Good education is the key element as well. Those who are fighting with the Houthis have no skills, have no education, and we are talking about hundreds of thousands now. We need radical solutions. We need new solutions to give them hope. We need hope for the Yemeni people, to enable them to engage with the economy, to produce, and to stop fighting each other. Freedom and knowledge-based economy. That region is based on the oil prices. The oil prices is good. The Saudi mood is good. They will behave. The oil prices is not good. We are the victim. You know that the first war in the Gulf was oil prices, based on oil prices, Saudi, Kuwaiti, and so on. Now the same situation. This country is nervous. They have no alternatives, resources. They base on oil prices, you see. So at the expense of the Yemeni blood. integration instead of isolation. Yemen is isolated in that region for ages. And yet, they didn't let us grow in terms of building successful state in the country. In 2011, all the peoples, even the tribes, they came to the capital with the hope of creating a new state, a new hope, democracy, under the umbrella of Arab Spring. And the reaction of the Gulf states, the rich Gulf states, was the reason behind this mess in Yemen at the moment. Thank you very much.